Hey guys, what we're doing today is we are reviewing a challenger game of Jhin. This guy, ImtheDoom, used to be the jungler for Rick's GG, has now switched to AD carry, one of the best players on the European server, and he sent me this Jhin game to review for the channel. If you want to check out his channel, I'll link ImtheDoom's Twitch channel and also his YouTube channel in the description below. He is one of the best players in Europe, if not maybe the best player in Europe. He's incredibly good, so definitely go and subscribe to his YouTube channel and check him out on Twitch if you want to see him live streaming. I'm pretty sure he live streams almost every day. The guy is nutty good at the game. Great place to learn. Of course, thanks to G2A for sponsoring the channel as well. And also we have a sponsor, an ageless sponsor for the video today. Let's check out AOZ. So this is Age of Z. I am a little addicted to this game right now. First of all, when I log in every day, got to come to make sure that my zombie waifus are okay.
If I were a human, I would be sure you are molesting me.
Memes aside, these two zombies, you heal them and then they increase the power of your zombie troops and also give you resources and stuff. It's good to heal them, guys. One of the parts that I really like about this game is the tower defense aspect. It is actually something that requires some element of strategy and skill. And you have 4 different towers. You have rockets, lasers, machine guns, and EMP. And EMP kind of like slows the zombies down. Definitely put a laser here as well. Usually you want to get all your AoE stuff out the start. Get this guy down. Get this guy down. He's got to go down. Upgrade this guy to level 4. Get him down, get him down, get him down, get him down, get him down. The big boss has gone down. We did it. 3 stars. This is Age of Z, guys, or AOZ. You're going to have a bigger video on this later on the channel, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. If you like it, feel free to check out the links in the description below. Cheers for watching, and we'll get on with our Wild Rift video now. I'm going to post his full Jhin build on the screen right now, so you can see exactly what Doom builds on this Jhin. I need to just...
On my way.
This is loud. I need to turn this down.
Our performance begins.
Jhin, you are really loud. Okay, so we're going to review the game. Now, obviously, Doom is significantly better at the game than I am, right? So I'm not going to sit here and start shitting on Doom because the guy is insane. But I'm really interested to see how Jhin is played. Do love that they are kind of sacrificing the jungler at the red buff. I think that's a really important thing that doesn't often get talked about enough when you're playing the bot side of the map. Helping your jungler can often absolutely cuck your level 1 lane, and it's really difficult to play the game if you're like coming late to lane, especially with like a relatively strong level 1 or going up against a relatively strong level 1. So you have to be like, I actually wish the meta wasn't helping junglers. I really do wish, because it is perfectly easy enough for junglers to remain healthy without a pull in Wild Rift. And I just wish there was not this meta around pulling the buff for junglers, because I think it really influences the early laning phase for a lot of different matchups in this game. So what you've seen Doom do there is a very standard Jhin play. Use the grenade, bounce it off the minions, and then preemptively follow up with a second ability to try and root once the grenade bounces onto one of the champion targets that you're looking for. Something you'll see a lot of Jhins do is they will stack up a 4th shot. They'll get a minion wave low enough to bounce. This is a really nice combo as well, as the Alistair, as you can see, already forced to burn the heal from the enemy. Alistair goes in for a combo. It makes it very easy for you to set up for a root. That's a really nice hook by the Thresh into the Flay here, forcing Doom to flash. I think having to be a little careful, but has forced them to overextend and actually get a flash out of the Ziggs there. Not going to flash forward though, because he knows that, or he's already used flash. Even if he did have flash, I think flashing forward there without a 4th shot and a bouncing grenade probably wouldn't have killed the Ziggs, especially because the Thresh might have been there to kind of flay them back as well. Bit of a crazy lane though. Thresh is definitely a bit of an annoyance for Jhin. If he's an annoyance for any AD carry realistically, if he can land the hook here. And it's actually quite difficult for Jhin to punish this Ziggs lane unless they actually find a Alistair combo to work with. Luckily, Jhin with Fleet Footwork, you can actually heal up a ridiculous amount. So you've got the sustain in this lane, which is actually quite good. So if you can take those trades but not die, you do win the sustain war versus this Ziggs Thresh lane. Because you have Alistair, who has a little bit of inbuilt sustain in his kit, and Jhin also has the sustain obviously built into the Fleet Footwork. So that makes it very easy for you to kind of out-sustain this lane. Now this is, I mean, I wouldn't be doing that. That's a really nice play. has to be forced to flash away. That's a nice basic attack, but I think Thresh goes down here. And if I'm completely honest with you, I am much happier if I'm Doom in this situation. Your support gets a kill and you get a double kill. I think Ziggs knew he was dead there, but Vi should be able to take Doom out, and obviously Doom actually trying to go for like massive Chad plays. Like, I'm dead here, let's get one extra CS, because that might actually help me, might help push the wave a little bit harder. And the unfortunate thing for Doom, and I mean, unless Vi messes it up, is that the wave isn't exactly in the best of positions. Like, it was very easily freezable near their tower, and it looks like that's what Vi has done for her bot lane. She's kind of let that lane sit there and freeze. But as a Ziggs player, it is quite difficult to just purely freeze a lane, because you are not. It's not really what you pick Ziggs for. Like, Ziggs is supposed to be someone that just shoves the enemy waves in over and over again and puts pressure on towers. See, Thresh level 5 now. Has to be a little careful because Alistar isn't yet level 5. Once he's level 5, shouldn't have any worries about walking up to the enemy bot lane, because he has both his ultimate and also he has got a decent amount of HP right now. Sorry, my little man Arthur, my new baby, just making some noises, so I just want to make sure he's okay. He's asleep right now on a chair next to me, but looks like he could be waking up soon, so you might see me feeding Arthur at some point throughout this video. Anyway, still in a pretty good spot. Like, Doom's got a double kill super early on. I think, you know, is really well set up with, I think, Ghostblade already picked up for this this first dragon fight, which is actually going to be pretty nutty. That is an important dragon to fight for. Has still got his ultimate available. I would say I don't think the team fight of... okay, never mind. Their jungler got caught. I don't actually think the team fight for Doom's team is actually any good. I actually think the team fight for Doom's team is pretty terrible. It's got more of a pick comp kind of focus to it. It's got the Lux Jhin combo, which is quite nice. You can, you know, eternally root someone and actually take them down. Nice little bounce there. Have to be a little careful. Obviously, Thresh can still look for the hook. Doesn't land it on the Alistar. Actually tries to go for the engage straight onto the Orianna here. Has to be a little careful as Thresh's box comes out, but that was beautiful from Ali and Doom. Just takes down the squishiest target. You can see now they're ignoring the Thresh. They're going to get a route onto the Ziggs. This is super nice play, and it's a really good... That's unbelievable bit of play there from Doom and Alistar, and that's going to allow them to get the first tower of the game as well, even though their jungler is permanently running it down. And I kind of want to go back and just let me get the pen out. I need to get the pen out, guys. Wait a second. Where is the pen? Okay, we're going to get the pen out here. We need to go back and review that fight because it was just really good. Okay, here we go. Right, pen, test, working. Nice, let's go. We're going to play this in half speed. Okay, so Ali gets flayed, but goes onto the Orianna. Watch the angles here for Doom. Walks straight up to the Orianna. She's the squishiest target. They have a huge amount of burst damage, but the Proto Belt finishes him off. Doom playing around the box really nicely, not walking through it, but does get bopped into one of the sides eventually. Still has the heal available. Ignore the Thresh. Beautiful route onto the Ziggs. Again, continuing to ignore the Thresh. Bopping the Ziggs. Gets a really nice bit of extra HP there, I'm guessing from Triumph. Might have been from Fleet Footwork as well. And then ends up killing the Jhin as well. Specifically, what I wanted to focus on with that play was just how, in that situation, applying CC, ignoring the low damage targets like the Jhin, and just focusing when you've got big item spikes, like big power spikes, like this Ghostblade power spike that Doom's got right now, is that you know that you have the damage to take down this Orianna really quickly. So take down the Orianna really quickly, because you've got the burst damage as the Jhin. And then once it's back to a 2v2, ignore the Thresh. He's already burnt most of his burn damage with the hook and the flay, and then go straight onto the Ziggs, because Ziggs had low mana. They knew they'd take him down easily. Get the Ziggs down, and then once Ziggs is down, Thresh has got no damage, and so you can basically take him out for free at the end of the fight anyway. Really nice play there from Doom. Ali just roaming the map like a madman. This very much feels like a bot lane versus the world type of game right now. And I don't blame Doom for just walking into this Lux's lane and taking the farm. I think if you're in this situation as an AD carry, where you're the one that's being relied on to carry, you should just be walking in and taking farm from wherever you can get it. And if that means you deny a bit of farm from your like 0-7 Lux mid lane, then that's perfectly fine. I would do that with jungle camps as well, with the Jhin. You need the resources to carry when you're in a carrying position, so don't feel bad from taking them from your teammates. 2 towers down though, so the global gold is probably okay for Doom's team right now. You have a Garen top, so you know that you're gonna have a tank, and you've got a decent global gold at this stage. He's got Ghostblade and a serrated Dirk, working towards his next item. They do pick up the Lux, who is just kind of running it down at this point. I think the Zhonya's pickup is super nice. Like, so the stasis pickup is super nice, because the only thing that shuts Doom down in some of these mid-game team fights is going to be a Vi ult. So what you really need to be doing, and that's beautiful from Doom, again, picking out that Orianna. Somehow they get the Jhin picks up the Ziggs here as well. The only thing that's going to shut Doom down in these early team fights is going to be the Vi ultimate. And so the Vi ultimate is going to be really important to block, because you don't want to give away momentum. Like, you want to be there for these mid-game team fights. You don't want to give away momentum. If you go to a fight and Doom gets Vi ulted, then what, you know, like, what's the rest of the team going to do if, with your 0-4 Lux mid lane, right? So Doom needs this item to ensure that he doesn't get ulted in mid game by Vi, and they don't lose a major objective fight, or they don't lose major map presence or tempo just because Vi randomly ulted her. Looks like he's picked up a Last Whisper. I don't know if he finished his Duskblade of Drakthar, but this is full lethality Jhin. This is something that didn't really work out when Jhin was first on the map. That's a really nice double binding. That is huge, actually. And then finishes up with a... This is the first time I think Doom's actually used his ultimate, holding that last bullet really nicely to make Orianna guess. And again, that's a nice little mind game that you can do with Jhin, is holding your ultimate bullets. Because what that allows you to do is the enemy will constantly be walking back and forth over and over again. And that means it makes it much easier for your teammates who are there around the ultimate to be... Oh, that's a really nice hook by Thresh. That are around the ultimate to kind of like continue to do damage without the enemy just like blindly walking away. Now, this Yasuo is a problem. We're going to have to be a little scared of him if we're Jhin. It is a 9-3 Yasuo. So this is basically like a Jhin versus Yasuo game right now. And he is super, super strong. Luckily, Garen is just on a pure split pushing power trip right now, and I managed to pick up another tower. He must be running like AD Garen to be able to be taking these towers this quickly, because if you play tank Garen, you never usually do. Jhin over the wall, insit. You love to see it. Garen didn't want to flash over for the ultimate onto the Yasuo because the shield was there, and that's all she wrote for that dragon fight. So just a... unfortunately, it was a really, really good hook by the Thresh, especially post-stasis from Doom. But still, in a good spot. I think we've got... does he finish Seralda's Grudge before the Duskblade of Drakthar here? Not entirely sure. Again, that's a single man ult. Like, okay, the Yasuo ultimate's down here, but that's a beautiful wind wall from the Yasuo. Like, really nothing Doom can do in this situation. I love that he takes a much, much further back position just to try and get some of these ults off. That ult felt like a very defensive ultimate for Doom. Doesn't get out of this fight because, again, nice teamwork from the Jhin and the Yasuo, and honestly, team kind of running it down at this point. Lux managed to pick up... What are you doing, Lux? Where were you going? Thresh may have overextended here, but the Yasuo is there to back him up, and he'll be fine. I'll get you some more in a minute. I'll get you some more milk in a minute. He's probably hungry again. Right, I'm actually going to go get Arthur some milk. So give me a second.
They call me mad. All I heard is...
Okay, here we go. Here is little monkey number 2. He is 3 weeks old tomorrow. Hey, aren't you? 3 weeks old tomorrow, so he's still quite young. He massively needs a nappy change, but I'll do that after this milk. I'll change your nappy after this milk. Oh. Is that hot? Not too hot. Do you like some? Okay. There we go, guys. Right, back to the game. So Doom's in a pretty awkward spot here because Yasuo is a really good champ into Jhin. Like, not only does Wind Wall really shut down Jin's ultimate and most of Jin's abilities, you know, Jin's a very, or relatively immobile AD carry. until later in the game where you start to get your movement speed built up. But you know, mid game Jhin isn't the most mobile of AD carries. At least he doesn't have any dashes. So if Yasuo can get onto you, it's very difficult for you to get off Yasuo. And so that is something that you have to be a little worried about if you're Doom in this situation. Like, Yasuo is definitely going to be a real pain for you this game. And so dealing with Yasuo, really, you are going to rely on the Jhin and the Alistar to kind of peel for you. Does get spot out. We'll pick up the red buff. You can see they are desperately going for a bot lane tier 1 tower right now. Yasuo here. That's a really nice pick. If they get the root, they can't get the root. Oh, he's got a stasis. He's got a stasis. He's done it, but he hasn't got the tower. Can he flash back towards the tower? That's really nice. Beautiful stasis from Doom. That's exactly why you pick it up. Yasuo, I mean, Alistar is kind of popping off right now, but Doom, unfortunately, has to kind of kite away from this Vi. Nothing else he can do. He's going to try and juke. He jukes. Is he juking? Can he get a... Okay, that was definitely the weirdest thing I've ever seen. The Vi literally turned around when she saw Jhin ult right in front of her. Regardless, it was a beautiful little brush juke from Doom. But I have no idea why Vi did that. Okay, Edge of Night first. I like it. This is a really big item pickup for Doom because it's going to block hooks. It's going to block Flay. Might even block... It might even block like a Vi ult if he's really lucky. Might block a Yasuo, Tornado. It's a really nice pick. This is a bit in from... That was massively in from Yasuo. Not really sure what he's doing there. Again, Windwall, though, unfortunately makes it a little difficult to convert. Very, very, very defensive ultimate from Jhin there. He needed to do that, maybe. I mean, obviously, like Ziggs, Orianna, you get caught out by a single sort of combo from those guys, and you're going to be in a rough spot. Double root onto the Thresh, but not a lot of damage done, I feel. See how we're doing this. Flash burn from Yasuo, though. So Flash being burnt from Yasuo is nice for Doom because that makes it less likely that Yasuo is going to be able to, like, turbo bone him in one of these team fights.
I cannot be good. I must be...
Got another dragon fight coming up here. The traps are pretty nice. We don't have stasis back for 20 seconds. So stasis not being back here for Doom, not for 20 seconds, is actually a bit of a rough one. A lot of damage being done already. We don't have the Jhin ultimate to work with. So this is, I feel this is a pretty risky team fight. I like the ultimate from Doom though. Alistar buying a lot of time. They're going to jump straight onto the backline. Doom very exposed to the Yasuo, but Yasuo has heavily committed to the Lux there. Has got the stasis. Unfortunately, the rest of the team gets blown up, so nothing they can do in this situation. Yeah, when you pop the Jhin ult, that was the button for both the Yasuo and the Vi to go, because I knew that if they just close the distance on the Jhin, like, he becomes a sitting target, he's sort of sitting duck when he's using his ult. And obviously, like, Vi, Yasuo, etc., they're all really good versus Lux too. Honestly, like, I just think Lux is a terrible champion. Unless you're playing her support and going, like, full boost your shield type play. They're going to pick up the Baron, though. They're going to teleport to it as well. We are getting multiple teleports coming through, including the Alistar. Is he even going to get there in time? You need your jungler to be there realistically. Alistar just trying to buy enough time. Doesn't do that, but maybe they get a team fight here that could potentially turn the tides, or at least kind of take away some of these Baron buffs. Orianna massively overstaying. This might be enough for Doom to pick up the kill here. He does with his 4th shot. Really nice. Has his ultimate available. Just got to catch the Jhin. I really like Seralda's Grudge with the ult. That's a double kill there, so we've already dropped a couple. That is a massive overextension from the Vi. Like, what on earth? Put the trap down on her. I think that's almost every Baron buff gone now, apart from the Ziggs. Lovely stasis. If Ziggs goes down here, that's every single Baron buff gone. And they drop the Herald. Might be enough for them to pick up the top lane inhibitor tower. Alistar played that fight super well. Really well. Like, beautiful teleport from Alistar. They're not going to overextend there because the Yasuo's up. But they will pick up the red buff. So that's a good denial from both the Vi and the Yasuo here. Very back and forth this game, but it is basically Jhin and Alistar, and I would definitely say Alistar is popping off this game. Like, this is a really strong Alistar performance. But it's Jhin and Alistar versus pretty much the entire enemy team. Garen's gone for the ridiculous Garen build. Look at that Garen build. Duskblade of Drakthar. When are you ever going to proc Duskblade of Drakthar as a Garen, unless you're sitting in brushes waiting for people. Like, when are you ever going to proc Duskblade Drakthar as a Garen? Like, you're better off going Ghostblade or like Edge of Night. But when are you ever proccing Duskblade Drakthar as a Garen? That's got to be the most ridiculous item I've ever seen picked up on a Garen.
Perfection.
All right, we're going to burp you because you finished drinking now. Get you a new nappy in a minute. Hello. Hello. Sorry guys, I'll talk about something interesting when we get to something interesting.
All artists are mad.
I need to get him a new nappy in a minute. But it can wait until the end of this game. It's only wee-wee, not poo. Sorry guys. When you have kids, toilet stuff becomes irrelevant. That's a really feels like a really obvious surprise. Great flash run from Doom though. Gets him up. He's going to set up for a very defensive ultimate. Actually has to cancel it immediately. I feel like probably was a little scared because the rest of the team weren't going to protect him. When you're playing Jhin, you kind of need someone to be there on the front line for you. Absolutely YOLO Garen into the middle of that fight. Somehow doesn't die. Have no idea how that happened. Just going to, again, wind wall, very difficult for Jhin to deal with. That is nice little pick by Yasuo there. Garen also running sort of distraction on the back line, but they defend the inhibitor tower, which is all that matters. They're chasing this Garen down. Deadman's Plate, Garen, you're never gonna catch him, and he knows that.
Is killing.
He's gonna back out. They're gonna try and catch the. Is it Duskblade of Drakthar? Duskblade of Drakthar Garen from the brush. There's no way they kill him, right? How does he get away with that? How does Garen get away with that? Is that like Elder Dragon now? Like Yasuo down? That's like a really free Elder Dragon, it feels like. Jhin does take objectives pretty quickly. I mean, Yasuo is the only person that you care about as Jhin, realistically. They're going to get this for free, aren't they? Garen just ran pure distraction on the Elder Dragon. That is a insane play by Garen. Runs away. They think that he's like out of there and can't be caught. They don't bother chasing him, and then just Yasuo forgets that the Garen even existed. That was a huge play. They trade Baron for it, which is the best possible outcome, I think, for Vi's team. But this now puts them on a timer. Like, Vi's team are kind of on a timer at this point. They're in a situation where they need to essentially win the game off this Baron. Otherwise, they're probably just going to lose out to Elder Dragon. Especially with how fed Doom is on this Jhin right now. Going for Infinity Edge, so he's going to finish up the build with a bit of Critical Strike. Probably a Rapid Fire Cannon, one would assume. Lack of vision in the Blues jungle. That's a beautiful engage by the Alistar. Forces the flash. Not going to use Doom's ultimate just yet, but again, forcing the flash of a Thresh for a team fight is super nice. I also really do like what I'm seeing from the Garen. He is, even though his build is weird, he's kind of like pushing these side lanes in. So look, they can't siege this forever because someone has to go and deal with top lane tower. And if they don't, they're going to lose an inhibitor on top side of the map. That was a ridiculous engage by Vi. Who on earth is following up on that underneath the inhibitor tower? That is ridiculous. Killing spree, double kill there for Doom. He's got the rapid fire cannon if he wants it. There's a huge wave top lane right now, which they can basically walk up or just let happen. They can let that top lane wave happen, and then they can just push down mid. Like, no one's going to stop that inhibitor from going down now. And again, maybe Vi felt desperate because no one was willing to go and clear that wave, but that was a really weird play from the Vi. And I think it's essentially thrown the game. Who was following up on that? Maybe she was hoping that the Yasuo would, but Doom has stasis, so he can just spam stasis. That's a nice pick onto the Lux by the Orianna, but again, Alistar on point. Can't get past the wind wall right now, and that's a bit of a problem. But Garen just... I don't know what Garen's doing, but Garen doing Garen things in the back line. Okay, so game not over yet. Game is not over yet, but having that inhibitor tower down is really nice if you are Doom's team. Because that's now just permanent pressure on the map. And they've kind of outlasted the Baron buff, which is super nice. Doom, I think Doom is at full build now too, so he's really strong. There isn't really any need for him to even take minions at this point, but just doing it to try and clear the waves. Alright, so he's got Yomu's Edge of Night, Seralda's Infinity Edge Rapid Fire Cannon. Garen caught out. I think he's just dead, right? Praise this Garen, and he does like int things like 2 seconds later. His build is, I don't know what his build is, but regardless, Baron up in another 40 seconds. It's gonna be like a, well, I mean, how do you play this as Doom's team, right? You just desperately defend, hope that they don't dive you under the tower, don't make any silly mistakes, don't let anyone else die. I think that's basically how you've got to do it. I mean, you might be able to fight the Baron. Baron will do a lot of damage at this stage in the game, or you can try and maybe look for a pick with the Lux and the Jhin. Clue, it's Clue. Of course it's Clue. Yeah, his Alistar play has been insane this game. Asking for TP on Baron, 100% recommend that for Garen. I think that's the best play. Like, he'll have a few seconds to respond. That is, oh, Edge of Night. Edge of Night. Absolute MVP right here. Spam stasis, spam stasis, spam stasis. Is it going to be enough though? Flashes away. Okay. Jhin is down. Doom survives. That's the combo that you got to be a little scared about. This Garen doing some work though, like on the back line, just threatening and being a nuisance and being annoying, buying time for that top lane wave to again push towards the enemy base. They're going in. Ultimate up for Alistar in 15 seconds. If they can kind of like delay this by about 15 seconds, might be enough. Like Clue, again, you see he's waiting for it. That is a really, really weird Vi ultimate. Like, you don't care about the Alistar. Surely you don't care about the Alistar. Yeah, if you can just pick some people off here. Thresh not down, but that is a kill onto the Vi for unstoppable for Doom. That's Garen flashing forward. There is a huge minion wave top lane. If they can just keep going with this, they might actually be able to win this if they just keep going. Doom's super quick now. He's at like speedy boy levels. Predicts the Orianna movement perfectly. Drops the trap on her head. The wind will kind of screwing him over right now, but he's just getting so much healing from Fleet. Can kite, should be able to kite the Yasuo. Smooths away from the minion wave to make it difficult for Yasuo to just dash through him. Doesn't want to go for the 1v1 versus the Yasuo at this point in time, which I think is very, very reasonable. Still clinging on to this game, Doom's team. They have the Elder, and they are clinging on to this game. Got 20 seconds until the next stasis. He literally cannot fight without stasis. Absolutely has to fight with the stasis. Another minion inhibitor tower taken down by the minions. They are teleporting in. They want this as like a... That's okay. That's an ult onto the wrong target. Doom has the Edge of Night. It blocked the Vi ultimate. The Edge of Night, that is an MVP item for Doom this game. Blocks an Orianna ultimate. And obviously, as we saw, just blocked the Vi ultimate, made that completely useless. Vi now locked out on the tower. She gets pulled out of her dash. But Thresh and her not on the same page. Thresh is going down right now. Vi surely goes down as well. Drop a trap on her head. Ah, she's down. That's game. Yasuo down, Vi down, Thresh down. 2 inhibitor minions, or 2 inhibitor waves pushing. No one to stop them pushing down mid. 2 MVPs this game. Obviously, Doom's played amazingly. He's 16-4. But 2 MVPs. Edge of Night is MVP. And Alistar is MVP. Like, Clue's played out of his mind this game. Unbelievable. Like, one of the best Alistar performances I've seen. Maybe even from, like, well, especially in solo queue. That was a crazy flush Lux ultimate. So this is what you often do with Jhin. Not only do you clear the incoming wave, but you just try and zone the enemy away from the tower. And that's just kind of what people use Jhin for in the PC version of League for quite some time. Wind Wall again, shutting Doom down. Again, like Jhin really struggles with Yasuo. He really does. Now they're actually going to have to back off here because Vi and Yasuo are up, but that is 3 inhibitor towers now. It's going to be so difficult, especially with Lux just pushing waves from across the map with their ultimate. If you split this map, it's going to be so difficult, I think, for the enemy to actually get out of their own base. And even if they do, we've seen the fact that Alistar can essentially hold and stall team fights for so long that minions might end up winning the game. They just need to not do anything stupid right now around this Baron. The only thing that loses them the game is if they get aced. Or maybe lose like 4 members. Yeah, the only thing that loses them in the game right now is if they get aced. So they just have to play this super carefully. Lux clearing waves where she can. Thresh, that is That's the mark of a man that's kind of given up, it feels like.
Artists are mad.
Does manage to get away, gets away from the root as well, but that was Thresh pushing very heavily up at this point. It's even with 3 inhibitors down, you have to respect the team fight power of the enemy team. Even with 3 inhibitors down, it is not a 1 game. They're gonna take the Baron. They're just gonna take it for free because again the enemy can't get out of their own base. Baron with 3 inhibitor towers down is basically a death sentence. No pun intended with Thresh being in the game, but it is basically a death sentence. So pop the Jhin ultimate. Try and get onto the Thresh. Doesn't have the flash, remember. Roots him right at the end. Doesn't want to get caught by the box, but does just because have to commit to it eventually. Yasuo is in full split push mode right now. Don't think there's anything else that he can do. And the team ends up winning up this one by Yasuo getting caught out right at the end. Windwall doing what it can, buy some time, but Doom's just going to push these waves in with the inhibitor minions. Alistair playing an absolute blinder, even though he ends up dying, still playing an absolute blinder, and this should be game right here for Doom. Beautiful game. That was so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.